Hello, 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 and welcome to Believe. That's BLEAV in Lions right here on the Believe Network. As always, I'm your host at Javanaugh87, Jack Kavanaugh. And as always, I am joined by the Detroit Lions legend, the best defensive player, at least according to certain grading websites, of the last decade, safety Glover Quinn.
Ha! That never gets old. What is up, man?
Not too much. It's just another beautiful day up here in Canada. Just enjoying the weather because it's getting a little bit cooler. We're starting to get ready for fall football season, and I absolutely love it.
Man, it's too early to be getting cooler. I can't get with it. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for the winter time. I am ready for fall. I'm
Oh,
ready for
no, no, no,
football.
no.
But
Yeah.
winter, and that's the thing, right? Once fall get here, winter is like the show. Winter is coming.
Have you watched any of the new Game of Thrones?
No, it was actually on last night, right after Hard Knocks,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't watch it. I feel like I need to watch the first one. I feel like I need to catch up on the original Game of Thrones if it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of that series because I didn't. I don't watch a lot of TV, man. If it's not sports and stuff, I don't watch a lot of shows, and I be busy. I be busy trying to get my own stuff going, so I don't really watch a lot. So um, I need to catch up on it before I feel like if I start looking at it, I probably won't understand what's going on.
Absolutely. That's very true. And not like you're going to have a lot of time to do that this coming fall because we've got football. We're just 1 week away from kickoff. And the 53-man rosters are set. We know that there's going to be transactions all week. So cut down days have happened, and it's a pretty sad time in the NFL, to be honest. Even if we're all excited about football, 800 people just lost their jobs.
Yeah, man. That's the unfortunate thing about it on a grand scale. I think just because it's unlike any other job, basically, probably in the whole entire world, right? Like people get fired or turned down or you know not get accepted for jobs every single day. But there's not a lot of places where you actually get to work at a place for 4, 5, 6 months, right? If you start back in April, May, June, July, August, 5 months and go through, you know, I wouldn't say war, but go through tough times, right? You go through the off-season program, go through conditioning, go through those moments where you're building a family, you're building a team, and now you get to play, practice, you go through training camp, you go through all these different things, and then you kind of get let go. Probably the only one of the only jobs that is like that, right? So, and it's on a national scale, so everybody gets to see it. So that makes it tougher than probably the normal person that gets turned down from a job every single day. So it's definitely a sad time in the NFL, man. You get close to some of those guys, and you show up and they're no longer there. They're gone. But nonetheless, you got to go to work with the guys that you have. You got to trust the front office and the coaching staff that they did the right thing, they made the right choices and the right decisions. And now it's up for you. It's up to you to go out and play. And at the end of the day, that's what your job is, to go out there and play. And I don't see, you know, I mean, it's just tough, man. It's just a tough situation. It's sad. I was blessed and fortunate that I was never on the receiving end of that call on cut down day. But you got to give a shout out to those guys that's grinding, and hopefully a lot of those guys get picked up. Some of them on practice squad, and hopefully some of them get picked up by other teams. And we'll see how it goes.
That's the thing. You just have to root for everyone to end up where they're meant to be. And really, you're never safe. Even after the initial 53-man roster is set, there's still lots of heartbreak to happen because David Blau, he goes from the highs of becoming the QB2 in Detroit. Lions cut Tim Boyle. Next day, they waive David Blau and sign Nate Sudfeld to be their backup QB. So, also happened to running back Jamar Chase. He gets waived for defensive tackle Benito Jones. And it's just this constant churning of the roster at the back end. And all of a sudden, you become the 54th guy on the roster and you're cut. And it's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, it's no question. And that's the thing, because once you don't get the call from your squad that you're getting cut, you feel like you're safe. And you feel like, all right, man, I made the team. But you still haven't. If you're one of those bubble guys, I mean, you're not safe literally for a while, because now they're going through the other guys that got cut and who's available and who can we get, and they're still just trying to put the best roster together for opening day, and opening days and until another week. So you still got a whole week and a half where they're still scouring guys, trying to see who's out there that gives us the best chance to win. And so, generally this right here was the 4th week of preseason practice, right? Well, this right here is an important week of practice for some of those young guys that made the roster, because they still are evaluating. And, you go out there now that they weeded out a lot of the other guys, and now you're stacked up with the veterans or the starters, and, you may go out and have a couple bad days. And if you do that, who knows? They may say, hey, I don't know if we made the right choice right here. This guy right here from this squad that got released may give us a better chance, and who knows? So you're not safe until, you're playing games. If you're a veteran, you feel comfortable because, once you feel like you've done enough to make the team, you kind of feel like, okay, I should be here. But those young guys, man, you just never know. So keep your head down, keep grinding. Don't take the chip off your shoulder, man. Just keep working.
And even if you were a starter last year, you're not guaranteed a spot, because Lions' second year slot corner, AJ Parker, he goes from starting every game that he's healthy to practice squad, waived in favor of the veteran from Kansas City and Minnesota, Mike Hughes. He has a bit more versatility. He can play on the outside as well as the slot, but Lions are going into the season with their top 3 locked in, and we haven't talked since this most recent preseason game where it became apparent Jeff Okudah is CB2. It was announced by the coaching staff. So the top 3, Amani Oruwariye, Jeff Okudah, and Mike Hughes, backed up by Will Harris, the rookie Chase Lucas, who's more of a slot, and then core special teamer Bobby Price. So how do we feel about that group at corner and the waiving of last year's starter at nickelback?
Well, I like the group. I was excited. I saw Jeff. He was out there starting, in his 3rd preseason game. And by the way, I was glad to see the starters go out and play. Outside of one thing, and I know I'm just talking, and I guess I'm a fan now, so you fans never are happy, right? But outside of one thing, I was happy to see the starters go out and play. And I thought it was cool that Mike Tomlin had his guys out there, right? TJ Watt was out there for a long time. Minka Fitzpatrick, all those guys were out there playing. Najee Harris was out there all the way into the second quarter. Like, those guys were playing. So I was glad to see the Lions guys out there playing too. And I was glad to see Jeff, get the start and, make some plays, right? Make some plays, make a couple tackles, make a big pass breakup, and the thing that I see, from that pass breakup that he had is that's happy to make a play, right? That's excitement to make a play, right? Because anytime there's a defensive back that you can break up the ball with, we used to call it, if you can break it up with your elbow, you probably could intercept that ball, right? But when you haven't made plays, when you haven't been, you're just you're happy to make a play, right? So in that moment, I'm happy for him to go and make that play, right? So he can see himself making some plays and doing things like that. As he get more confidence, he'll get to where he's going under that receiver trying to make an interception right there. Because if you can break it up with your elbow, you probably can lay out and catch it with your hand. So that'll come. But I was just happy to see him make plays because that's been the thing that we wanted to see, and he showed that he's got the capability. He just got to stay healthy, and he got to be able to come in and week out. I think Will would be a good backup. It's good size. Money. I haven't seen a money. Make many plays this preseason. He came on. He had a big year last year. So hopefully, he's saving a couple of those plays for the season. So hopefully he still continues to play at the level that he's been playing at. I like the two safeties. I feel like they've played well in the preseason. And then bringing in Mike Hughes. I remember him. He was a guy that was in Minnesota that played for a little while, right? Yeah, I remember him. Good inside guy, veteran guy. He should be able to bring some stability in the nickel spot, give him some versatility with Will. I think the group can be fine. Like I say, I don't know how many interceptions or fumbles that we created, turnover wise in the preseason, but I think just from a solid standpoint, I think they could be a solid group. I think they could be okay.
That really excites me, and I'm sure will excite everyone out there in One Pride here. And you talk about Jeff Okudah and how those plays go from happy to make it to a full-on interception and just continue to stack those plays. And that's what we've been hammering on all offseason is who's going to step up. He stepped up once. I hope we can continue to see Jeff Okudah step up week after week. And that's what I also wanted to ask you about with the safeties, because Tracy Walker, Deshaun Elliott, we finally got to see them working together in the backfield, and it worked pretty well. I was pretty happy with them. It seemed like the communication was a lot better than what we've seen from some of the rookies. Lions also opted to keep 3 backups at safety. Efetu Melifonwu, who might be going on the short-term IR, might be out a week or 2. Then they've got the rookie Kirby Joseph and Juju Hughes, who followed Brad Holmes from LA over to the Lions. So that puts us at 9, or not 9 total in the secondary. That puts us at 5 safeties, 6 corners, so 11 total in the secondary. As a former everything man in the secondary, is that enough for the Lions, or should they be looking to subtract from one position to continue to invest there?
Well, no, I don't think you add to that position. I think 11 is more than enough. There's only 2 safeties on the field at one time, and you generally have one guy that can come in and be a backup at the safety position. And then you have another guy that could come in, but he's more of a special teams guy. Both of them will be special teams guys, but one of them will probably have more of a role in the defense, and the other one will be more of a special teams guy that will get in defensively, situationally. Then you look at the corners, you got to have your top 3 guys. The game went to a nickel dime type of game. So you're going to have 3 corners out there most of the time. And then, yes, you're going to have another one that's special teams guy, mainly, and could sub in if need be. So I think, having your 3 top corners, 2 top safeties, that's 5, 2 backup safeties, that puts you at 7. And then 2 backup corners that puts you at 9. So I think 11 is plenty. A lot of those guys will be inactive on game day, depending on how the numbers work out. But that's just, I wouldn't be surprised, depending on how it goes. Like you said, if they put, I don't even know how to say his name. I don't even want the Fed to. I wouldn't be surprised if they do put him on IR, what I'm saying, just to help with the roster numbers, because like I said, having 11 guys in the secondary, that's a lot, what I'm saying. But one of the things that I saw in the game on
Your mic cut out there, Glover. Mm, Nothing yet.
There you go. I think I'm
There you go. I can hear you. Oh,
muting it.
yeah. Now you're good.
I'll be muting some kind of way. I'll be hitting buttons. But no, what I was saying, one of the things that I'd be interested to see come over the course of the season, I saw something on Sunday, and it kind of, it. I'd be interested to see how it plays out, because if you look at the body types, at the safety position, Tracy Walker has played more of in the box for the Lions over the last couple of years, right? He's played more of a down safety covering the tight ends, right? So to keep him in that role, that puts Deshaun Elliott in the deep part of the field. And there was a play that the young guy made on the sideline in Sunday's game from Pittsburgh. He made the catch on the sideline, and Deshaun Elliott was close to making that play. And so I wonder, just looking at body types, I wonder if Deshaun Elliott is more of a box safety. He's a little bigger, trying to see the range from sideline to sideline. If Tracy would be more suitable to being more of the back end guy that can get from sideline to sideline, and then you put Deshaun down in the box, being he's a little bigger. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out over the course of the season, how they start out, if they're playing left and right, if they move Tracy to the deep part of the field so that he can, look like seemingly have a little more range. But then who knows? Then maybe that was just a miss. But when I saw that play, it was like, okay, looking at his body, looking at his, his approach to that ball, I don't know if he would be, and I don't know him, from his earlier in his career. But that made me question whether he was a true free safety or if he's really a strong safety. But the role that Tracy has had with the team, they kind of starting out with Tracy staying in that role, but Tracy may have to adjust and slide back a little bit.
And that's kind of the thing with Deshaun Elliott. He's coming over from Baltimore with the Wink Martindale scheme. All of those safeties, all of those secondary players, they're hybrid players. So he played some deep, but what everyone knew him as was the hard hitter, the big, heavy in the box safety. So I think you might be right. Tracy might have to play a little bit more deep. And maybe that leads to some more turnovers from Tracy Walker, because that's one of the things that, as great as he's been at eliminating the big plays, I would love to see him take another step forward in generating those turnovers, and maybe playing back and being able to read a little bit more can make that happen.
Right, and I would say this right here, man, and just to give the Lion fans hope. That's what happened to me. When I first got in the league, I was a tackler. Wanting to make tackles, do all these things. Wanting to play in the box, to be in the action, all these type of things. Beating your body up, hitting these big guys each and every game, every day in practice. And then I got to Detroit, and they allowed me to play more free safety. Well, that's what they brought me in for, right? So then the first year, me and Lou played more left and right. So then I was still kind of playing some strong, but I wasn't having to play like the dime and be in the box more often. But I still had to go down there because me and Lou was playing left and right. And then once 2014 got here, and I was able to just play true free safety the whole entire year because we had James ahead of him. And I ended up, when I led the league in interceptions, from that point on, it was just kind of like, all right, guys, I've made enough tackles in my career. I'm no longer interested in making tackles. Like, I would rather just catch the ball or turn the ball over some kind of way. And obviously, I would make tackles when needed to be. But, guys, I want the ball. So there would be situations where, it may be me that's supposed to go and blitz. And I would be like, I don't want to go blitz. Like, I don't want to go blitz. I want to sit back here and catch the ball. Like, I want an ability to turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell them they don't pay me to get sacks. They pay me to get interceptions. That's what they pay me for. And so I didn't want to do it. So maybe that's the same thing with Tracy. He's been that guy. He's a slender guy, but he's broad shoulder, long arm type of guy. Seems to be rangy. So yeah, I would be surprised to see, if he stayed in the box all season, or if they move him back, into the free safety position, and that way he can have his eyes on the ball. A lot of times you're playing down, you're playing a lot of man to man, so you're not really seeing the ball. You're seeing your man, and that leads to a lot of pass breakups. When you can be the free safety, now you got an opportunity to see the ball. So now you can see the ball come out the quarterback's hand and give you an opportunity to go and intercept that ball. And that's what the Lions are going to need. That's what we didn't see in the preseason. And I know they didn't play very much, right? I know they only played a series in the first game, none in the second game, and then they played a quarter and a half. And what I was going to say about the third game that I really wish that, you let those guys play the whole first half. Let them finish it out, right? Let them get a 2-minute drive, offensively or defensively, right? Don't pull them out with 4 minutes to go, or what I'm saying, like they don't play this whole part. Their adrenaline is going. The what I'm saying, the wheels are turning. Get a 2-minute drive in. Let's work that communication in a real game type atmosphere, so that we kind of see what it looked like. Yeah, you work it in practice, you work it in joint practice and stuff like that. But let's see what it looked like in real game, and even for the coaches, right? Let's get a sense of how we're going to call it. Let's do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only thing. I wish he would have left them in to finish out the half since they had played. And I think they ended up getting a touchdown right before the half too. Right? I think they got a touchdown right before the half. And so, that's one of those things, right? You give up a touchdown. You could have went in 9-0. Now it's what, 17-0, I think, at the half. So, or 16-0, something like that. So yeah, that right there was one of the things that I wish he would have done. But other than that, I thought they played well.
Well, it was really frustrating to me too after the fact, because you see all these graphics. Oh, Mitch Trubisky diced up the Lions. Look at his stat line against the Lions. Yeah, all the touchdown and all of the yards came against the backups. He had that one beautiful throw to Deontay Johnson that we talked about earlier. And other than that, the Lions really kept him in check. But, we look at the box score at the end of the day. Mitchell Trubisky carved the Lions. That really bothered me. And if they had just left the starters in a little bit longer, we wouldn't have had to deal with that blasphemy towards the Lions defense, because they were playing well. It excited me. However, I do wonder because Deontay Johnson did get injured on that play. He's fine, but he did leave the game on that catch. Mm-hmm. TJ Watt also left the game with a knee injury. So do you think the Lions maybe started to worry seeing that happen and then adjusted?
Well, this is the thing, man. This is the thing. And that was one of the things that, like I said, I liked about what Coach Tomlin did with his guys. At the end of the day, this is football. You can't play the game trying not to get hurt. You have to play the game and let the pieces fall where they may. We're going out to prepare ourselves to play. I believe in, everybody got different things that they believe in. But I believe if you're meant to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. Whether it's the third preseason game or opening week. If it's meant for you to get an ankle sprain, you're going to get that ankle sprain. Thursday, it may happen Tuesday in practice. You're going to get it. Like, that's just the way I look at it. Yes, you might say you can prevent yourself from going out there and giving yourself more of a chance to get injured. Well, I don't feel like that's the case. We had guys that rolled their ankles going down the staircase at home and didn't even make it to the game. So I don't feel like that's the route that you take. We're going out here to do these things, and if the field is bad, right, and guys are going down because we're the conditions that we're in, then yes, you got to pull your guys, especially in the preseason. But the field is good. Guys are just playing. Unfortunate situation with the diving catch on the sideline. Guy falls on his shoulder and the block. I mean, TJ Watt didn't. I mean, it didn't look like I didn't even see his knee buckle or anything. He might
No,
just got
he's
hit
fine.
on it. So yeah, I think he probably just didn't want to play anymore. Like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, sometimes you can see like, oh, I see a knee buckle. I saw it give in a little bit, right? I didn't see it. I mean, his foot wasn't planted in the ground. I didn't see anything there. So maybe that has something to do with it, but I hope not. I hope you're going out there to play, and then maybe that was just a plan the whole time. They're going to play a quarter and a half, and we're going to pull them out.
Very true. You never know how things adjust in the heat of the moment of a preseason game, especially. And with TJ Watt, the funny thing is, almost exactly the same play that everyone was freaking out about with Kayvon Thibodeau. When it happens to TJ Watt, I wonder if the conversation wasn't as loud just because we were over it at that point. We'd already talked it to
Yeah, I
death
mean
with Kayvon.
that's a part of football. I mean, they've been doing that block since I got in the league. It's just a block, tight end come behind. It's because that's what they're doing to set up the play action, right? They coming
Yep.
across and he's blocking that guy, and then all of a sudden he's going to come across, and he's going to fake block him, he's going to slip into the flats, and it's going to be 3rd and 3, and he's going to get a first down. It's going to be a 2-point play, or it's going to be 4th and 1, or whatever. They're just setting that play up, right? They're just setting it up to make TJ Watt, whoever that defensive end, stutter their feet just a little bit to prepare for the block so they don't rush upfield and sack the quarterback, and then he's going to fake block him and slip out into the flats. So the defensive ends know that block is coming. They should be got schooled up on how to defend against that block, how to protect themselves on that block, and neither one of them executed really well. But it's also the preseason, so they probably really. I know TJ Watt definitely knows how to defeat that block, and he will defeat that block more times than not. And like I said, he didn't have his foot in the ground, so I don't think it was anything to make any noise about. TJ Watt just left the game.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what ended up happening, funny enough. He played a couple more plays after that cut block. Then he went off. Probably let's call it a bruise. Maybe he took a helmet to the thigh. I don't know, but either way, he was fine. No one made a big deal of it, and he's going to play in week 1. So everything is fine there. And with the Lions and the rest of the roster, with cut down days, with the expanded practice squad, we actually ended up seeing 2 of your former teammates, although they didn't make the final 53. Jared Davis and Dan Skipper both are on the practice squad. So, what are your thoughts kind of on this expanded going from, I think it was 3 players on the practice squad previously to 10 now?
You know,
And the expanded ages as well.
I mean, I was about to say this new practice squad stuff really has me. I'm not in it, so I don't understand it. I haven't looked into all the details and what goes into it, but it's just really weird to me. And if from my whole time in the league, understanding what the practice squad was and why it existed and who it was for, the people that I'm seeing now is just kind of like, what? Like, Devon Kennard, posted that he got released by the Cardinals. And so I hit him up and he just telling me, he's like, yeah, man, they want me to come back and be on a practice squad. I'm like, what? When did we start putting paid he's probably year 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Paid veteran, year 9, when did we start putting those guys on the practice squad? When did that happen? Maybe it keeps those guys in the league because it's like, well, if you're not on the practice squad, you're probably out of the league. But at the end of the day, I don't see how it benefits the players because, Devon DK is like, well, they put me on a practice squad. Now, if they want to bring me up every week, they can. But if they don't want to bring me up, I'm basically down here making pennies. I don't feel like that's not. I mean, that's not how you do a 10-year guy, 9-year guy. So, that's weird to me. So seeing Jared and Dan, guys getting put on the practice squad as big major vets, that's, I don't know, man. That's just different to me. Because I didn't come up in that era. It wasn't like that for us. The practice squad were guys that were younger guys that it's just that needed more practice, needed more reps, needed more time to develop before they came in and play. And so, I mean, now they're putting veterans on there. I don't know. I guess it benefits them. You know what I'm saying? To have a guy that they can bring up, helps them money wise. Maybe they don't have to pay him as much. I don't know. Do you sign a different salary to be a practice squad guy, or do you get to keep your same veteran salary, but you just like I don't know how that works, and what veterans are gonna go for that? I go from making $7 million a year to making $100,000 a week on a practice squad, and I know. I don't know. Like that's just weird to me. I can't. I don't understand it. So I need to brush up on the rules and what's going on with the practice squad because that's just weird to me.
It is strange, and I can't remember if it happened the last CBA or if it happened because of COVID, where they wanted to have more people in the building. But I believe you get 4 vested veterans, so 4 players on their second contract after who have 4 years in the league. That can be on your practice squad. But like you said, the financials of it are kind of sketchy because you can continually call them up from the practice squad every week without assigning them to waivers. And they're still basically a member of your team, basically a member of the 53, but you get kind of a loophole out of it. The only time I've actually seen it work out really well for a veteran was Seattle, because they had Snacks Harrison on their practice squad because he was rehabbing
Right.
and knew that he was farther along than on the IR list on the PUP, but also knew he wasn't ready. So that was the perfect scenario. Outside of that, it kind of just feels like a sneaky way to save some cash.
No question, man. And like you say, you look at Snacks. I think he had been out of the league for a little bit, or coming off an injury or something. And Snacks is a big guy, right? So that could have been like, hey, we're gonna bring you in. We know you need 2 or 3 weeks just to get in shape, right? Like you haven't played or haven't practiced. Like we're gonna give you 2 or 3 weeks to get in shape, so we're gonna put you on the practice squad, right? Like that's understandable. But DK. Like these guys are guys that's been playing. Like they're skilled guys. Or when I say skilled guys, I mean you're rush in linebacker. Like you're not a 360-pound D tackle, right? So those guys, they don't need the practice squad to be in shape. They just went through a whole training camp. Like they're ready to play, and then you put them on practice squad for what? For what? Yeah, you're right. It's a sneaky way to save money, and then I don't like it. Yeah. But like I said, I wasn't in that situation. Maybe if I was a veteran and I still want to keep playing and I still want to stay in the same city and this and that, maybe I would take an option to be on the practice squad, but I don't know.
Well, and that was another thing with Snacks too, is he had offers to be signed to active rosters off Seattle's practice squad, and he turned them down because he wanted to be in Seattle. He just wasn't ready to be on the team yet. So like you said, it's very strange, and it helps the teams a lot because you get to keep the veterans in your system. You get to save the money, but for the player, I don't know. It's unfortunate, and I probably should do some more research on it as well. But
yeah,
for the Lions,
I do.
Yeah, for the Lions, they get to keep some talented players though. Jared Davis, Dan Skipper, 6th-round rookie James Houston out of Jackson State. Tom Kennedy, the preseason star. There's a lot of talent on the practice squad.
And that's good. Hopefully those guys stay there. They stay ready. And if they're called up and they're ready to go, they should be good. I'm getting a call from our guest.
Perfect.
Can I take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You heard me?
What's good?
I said I'm right down the street from the crib. We had a damn NFL PA meeting. I didn't even know we had that shit at the practice. So I'm right down the street from the crib, though.
All right, you good?
All right, then. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, just hit that link when you get a chance, and we'll let you in the show.
All right, bet.
All right, bet.
Yep.
So he's right down the street from the crib. He said they had an NFL PA meeting. Perfect. So he should be hopping on in the next 5.
Perfect. We'll get him here in a moment. In the meantime, rest of the roster, what are your thoughts looking at the final preseason game, looking at heading into the season? Any other big takeaways from cut downs, hard knocks, just all of it?
I mean, I think, you have those guys that are on the edge teetering, and it all works itself out, right? You have guys that, just miss opportunities. And I can't say he would have made the team, but it's just kind of tough when you're in a game and if you're the receiver, Pimpleton, and you drop that touchdown, you just kind of know like that probably was it. Like I probably dropped, if I had any chance of sneaking on that, I probably dropped it right there. And that's tough because as a veteran player, you see that, you already know like, dang, that he probably dropped it, right? He probably dropped it. But like I said earlier in last week, I think, you saw it on Hard Knocks last night, right? They already had guys, what I'm saying? They already knew half the guys that were going to be cut anyway. It was only you got to have guys to go out and play the game and make them, at least feel like they got an opportunity, even though I feel like they knew already who was going to be, for the most part on the roster. So I don't think there were any surprises, of guys that, I guess one of the biggest surprises, and I don't know, I didn't see much. And, Devin Funchess isn't a true tight end. So I felt like maybe they could have used him in a receiving tight end role, being that he came in as a wide receiver, even though he's bigger. But then, you get into that situation, it's like, okay, well, being that he's a receiving tight end, our teams what teams line up and put a linebacker on him, or would they put a cover guy on him, which would make him less effective. So therefore, may as well not even keep him on, put another tight end out there that can get matched up against a linebacker and we can go to work. So I didn't really see anything that was surprising or something that we really wasn't expecting. Yeah. It's go time now, though.
It's go time.
It is what it is.
It's so funny because we transition from fighting to make the roster, fighting for your job, trying to figure out who's earning reps with the second team and the first team, to all of a sudden, no, it's not a competition anymore. And of course, it still is a competition. You're always competing for your slot, for an increased role on the team, but it's less of a breakdown of first team, second team, third team, and now it's no, we've got a team that we've got to beat. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because you go to practice that first couple of days after cut down, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because, like I said, you've lost a lot of guys. So when you used to get in 4 reps a period and then get a break because the backups come in and then the backups come in and then you get to go again and then the backups, you know what I'm saying? Those guys are no longer there. So when you go to practice, it's a little somber because guys are gone. So you kind of got to get over that, but you're excited because you feel like you've made the roster. Now it's like, all right, we're out of the preseason, out of that. Like it's time to get ready to go. Which I don't know how teams. That'd be interesting to ask. I guess when he get on, like, I don't know how teams approach this last week. Do they look at it more as a week of rest for the guys? Will they kind of keep them active, make the cuts, but just kind of give them a little break before next week start? Or do they say, hey, we're still in training camp. Basically, we're gonna keep practicing all the way up until maybe Friday. We'll give you guys off for the weekend. Take Memorial Day off on Monday. Not Memorial Day, Labor Day off on Monday, and then we're back in the building on Tuesday, right? I don't know how teams are approaching this final week. I guess this final week, because this will be the last week of the preseason. So it's very interesting. I really want to know that because those practices are tough, right? Because you don't have as many guys out there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have as many guys out there. And I just can't imagine that they're already starting on Philly. Like you don't want to be preparing for the team for 2 weeks. Like, you don't want to do that. You just, because I think by the time it gets over with, by the time you get to the game, you're just over the team already. Like, I'm tired of looking at these guys. So, if anything, you may, if they giving them the weekend off, you know what I'm saying, they may do some Philly stuff tomorrow, just like an overview, being that they probably come back on Tuesday. They'll probably give them Monday off, right? Depends, or they might come back in on Monday and take normal Tuesday off, whatever. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this week goes. I don't know.
Got to talk to our special guest and figure out what they're doing and if that's the norm among NFL teams. Because when you played, you kind of just went straight into the season after the preseason ended, didn't you? Did you have the week off after?
Well, we played, like I said, this would have been our last preseason game coming up this week. So most of the time, those last preseason games were on Thursday night, right? Most teams played on Thursday. And so we will play on Thursday. We might come in Friday for just like our after game normal, but we would get the weekend off, right? That's why. And I don't know if they set it up like this, but, college football, they played some games last week, but for the most part, it kicks off this weekend. And you see a lot of the players across the league get to go back to their colleges this weekend and watch games because you're generally off this weekend. You've generally just finished up the last preseason game. You get the weekend off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then some teams may give you Monday off, being that it's Labor Day. Then some teams may come in and work on Monday and then give you a normal Tuesday off, like a normal work week, right? We come in Monday, get an extra day in to start preparing for Philly, and then we take Tuesday off as a normal week, and then we get back at it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we get ready to go and play. So it just all depends on how they're doing it and how they're handling it. But for us, we would have this little weekend off. Definitely didn't have a whole week. But when you were a starter and you knew you weren't playing that last preseason game, then you kind of had a week off in practice because you were getting the young guys ready to play this week in practice. So we would always do all the scout team stuff, all the scout team work that those guys needed to get them prepared to go out and play. The starters would do that stuff. And then that way, you're moving around, you're being active a little bit, and, you kind of getting a mental break from the norm, right? You're kind of getting a mental break from a normal season, normal week. But yeah, I don't know how they're doing it now. So it'd be a great question to ask our guest.
And speaking of, we have a very special guest joining us here. Former Detroit Lion safety, former Detroit Lion captain, teammate, and backfield mate of our co-host Glover Quinn. It is the one, the only Seahawks safety, Quandre Diggs.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you hopping on with us, man. I mean, we're gonna hop right into it because we was having this question. How do you guys approach this last week of like training camp? Because generally it's the last preseason game, right? Where you're preparing for that. So kind of the starters kind of get that week off. Kind of you're going through practice, you're getting the young guys ready to go. But now preseason is over with, cuts done been made, and you guys are still there. Is it kind of like a chill week, rest week, or is it kind of like, hey, we're still getting after it type of week?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Because the roster has kind of been in flux for the last couple of days with, last cuts, waiver claims, bringing guys back on the practice squad. So yesterday it was, basically we had like 48 players out there, some yesterday, 48 players, and today we were able to get our practice squad guys out there. So we had a little bit more full practice, but yesterday was like a 45-minute to an hour practice. Today it was like an hour, 15, hour 30. But, you start introducing the game plan of what you're going to do next week. Then tomorrow we'll have just like, so the last 2 days basically been half days. Like I literally been getting out of bed at 9:00 and just vibing for a couple hours and then go into the building. Tomorrow is more of like a full day. You feel me? So tomorrow is gonna be. I mean, basically, I'm gonna wake up at 7:00, 7:15, because we start a little bit later here, and we're gonna be going from 8 to 5. That'll be a normal day tomorrow, but I mean, it's a chill week, but you also know what's at hand. You feel me? So like we got to get to the work, because I mean we got 13 days or whatever to the season opener. So I mean,
and those games, I mean those practices, even though they're half practices, like you said, you only got 48 guys, so you don't have about 8-9 DBs. So those practices, you might practice for 25 minutes, but they're tough because you don't have anybody else to take reps. You're taking every freaking rep. Like even if it's 7-on-7, you got to do all 10, right?
Yep.
Like, so that's what makes it a little tougher. But man, training camp over with. What's that? Your 7 training camp? 8? 6?
8
training camps? Golly.
Yeah, bro. 8.
Wow, man. So, man, how was it? We know Seattle a little different. Obviously, you guys lost Russ. You guys lost Bobby, offensive leader, defensive leader. How you guys feel, man? Coming out of training camp, got Gino. They named the starter. Like, how you guys feeling?
I mean, we feeling good, but everybody's feeling good come out of training camp. You feel me? I think we might be a little bit more fresher than other teams because the way we run training camp and the way we practice here is very similar to the season. So it's not like we do anything different. Like guys have 2.5 hour practice in training camp. Well, our schedule is basically the same all through the year. So, we got an hour and 45-minute practice during the season. We got an hour and 45-minute practice in training camp. We 3 days on, 1 day off. So, your body's getting time to recover. Because you never practice. I mean, just think about in the season, you practice Tuesday, Wednesday, you practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is a little chill day, usually off, and then you play on Sunday. So that's kind of how we set it up. But I mean, we're feeling good. I mean, Gino's named the starter. I think, his preseason was really good. We had a lot of drops, so that kind of slowed down the momentum. But I think everybody's kind of in a good mood, feeling good, which we should. But defensively, I think we're doing some different things that we've done before. So I think it's good. It's a change for a lot of guys. A lot of guys haven't played in this type of system, so it lets you be a little bit more active.
Well, more importantly, the last most people saw of you, was the injury, right? Mm-hmm. So more importantly, how are you feeling? Coming back from injury, going through training camp, and trying to get yourself back ready physically and mentally, right? Getting over that mental hurdle to be able to go back out there and be, the Pro Bowl safety that you are.
I mean, I'm feeling good. I mean, this is probably, no lie, this is the best I've felt throughout the whole process, where it's just like my foot is moving the way I want it to move. I'm cutting off it the way I want to, and my legs are up under me. So for me, it's been smooth. You kind of have that doubt when you first start camp, like, dang, is this going as smoothly as I thought it would? But continue just rehabbing it every day, and the ankle's moving as good as the other ankle, and you have some stuff that you got to kind of adjust, but at the end of the day, you figure it out. Your body is a heck of a thing, so it figures it out, and you learn how to manage those type of things. But I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
So glad to hear that. And you're coming in, you just signed that new deal, you're going to be there through 2024. Hitting free agency 2025, just 32 years old, ready for another big deal. Is there any chance that you come back to Detroit, or are you happy in Seattle?
I mean, of course I'm happy in Seattle. Blessed to sign a third contract. You don't see too many guys sign third contracts, let alone a fourth contract. So, the city of Detroit knows how I feel about it. I would love to go back, and if that was in the cards, I would. But I love where I'm at right now, and I'm at a place that lets me just be myself and just have fun and go make plays. So, as long as I can stick it out here, I'll stick it out here. But even this past offseason, Detroit was in a discussion would I go back, and of course, I made that clear at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem with Detroit. I think it was obviously the coaching, the that regime that was there that no longer is there. I think Dan Campbell, I think AG, I think those guys would be good if it ever happened. But I mean, you're happy in Seattle, so
I just had to get the Detroit Lions fan base's hopes up. As long as you didn't say no,
yeah,
the Lions fans are going to be happy. That's all they needed to
oh
that
no,
little soundbite.
no doubt. I love those fans. Those fans are, the fans always took appreciation of me in Detroit, and I'm always thankful for that. And we go there week 4, and it'll be fun to go back and be in that stadium. It'll be different being in the away locker room, but it'll be good to go back and just kind of reminisce on some of the things, some of the good days. Not the bad days where I wasn't having too much fun and I was in a kind of dark place. But going back, hopefully I can get some good food out there, get some Captain J's, and maybe go get me a steak from Ocean Prime or something like that. But I can't wait to go back out and just be back in that culture. And I can't wait to see the fans.
Man, it'd be cool because the whole training staff is back.
Right.
Like KB, Tom, like all those guys are back. You still got Josh and Parsons. Yeah, Parsons still there. All those guys still there, man. That'll be about it though. Elton. That'll be about it. Mo.
Equipment guys.
So yeah, it'd be those guys, and then Gina. But you probably wouldn't even get to see Gina. No. So yeah, it'll be different, but it'll be cool, man. I'm excited, man. It's crazy because Slade's coming back out there. Week 1. Obviously, Slade came back last year, but he'll be back again. And you coming back, man. And people always try to say it's a revenge game, right? You playing against a former team. But with the new regime, like, do you kind of feel like it's a revenge game, or is it kind of more like a homecoming? Like, I'm getting to come back to where I started, to play in front of my fans. Like, I still got love for the D. I don't have a vendetta against the D. I like Detroit, right? I don't have a vendetta against you guys. Yeah. It was the staff. But, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a revenge game at all. I mean, those guys, Dan Campbell, AG, those guys have never did anything to me. You feel me? So for me, I still got former teammates over there that I keep in touch with too. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not a revenge game. It's more of like a homecoming. Like, I get to go see and just be in Ford Field again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just those gonna bring back memories that things that'll last a lifetime for me, because I was made in that stadium. You feel me? So I just feel like for me, it's gonna be some emotions for sure. Because standing on the other sideline, I just know doing the national anthem, I stood in the same spot every time, and I looked in the same spot every time. So now it's just like my back will be to that. You feel me? So definitely more of a homecoming, but it's gonna be fun. Those we got after those guys a lot last year, so I know they'll be ready to return the favor.
Yeah, I definitely think they will be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun from both sides. And you talking about being made and growing up in Detroit, I kind of wanted to ask, because you started as a nickel corner, then you moved to safety under the Jim Caldwell era. Then you moved to safety in Patricia's defense. Then you were safety in Seattle under Ken Norton Jr. And now you're safety under Clint Hurt. So you've spent a lot of time at different positions and in different schemes. How are you feeling heading into this system under this new DC?
I mean, it's funny because it's come back full circle. You know what I mean? I'm not at nickel, but this was the defense that I was born in. You feel me? Feel like this defense that we playing was the defense that I played my first 3 years in the league. So for me, it's like, I didn't get a lot of time at safety in this defense, but GQ knows, like, I learned safety in this defense because I watched everything he did. I wrote every note down. So that's how I knew how to play safety in this defense, is because watching him, and he would tell me, like, you're going to be a safety, so you probably need to be learning this stuff. You feel me? So I feel good. You know, it's like other guys are like, dang, like how you know this defense? Is like, yo, like I played in this defense for 3 years, so I'm going and telling the nickels like, yo, this is what you should do because I was a nickel in this defense, so I know exactly, you know, like how things are going and how things are moving. And so it's very interesting to be able to go back and kind of tell guys like, yo, like I already played in this, so I'm very comfortable and I like the scheme a lot. And now knowing more, you know, you get to make hopefully some more plays, and you know, it's not just new to me.
And that's the fun part, right? Like you say, I played nickel in this scheme, right? Mm-hmm. So I know what the nickels should be doing. I know how to help those guys. I know how to be a better player, right? I know how to put myself in better situations, but also be able to put my teammates in situations because I've been you. I started out as you, man. Like, so that's a good thing when you get to safety because now you're in year 8, the game slows down, like you say, being able to see the ball, making interceptions, that's the name of the game, right? And you are a big hitter as well. But we was talking earlier because we was talking about Tracy, and I was like, you know, Tracy likes to stick his nose in there and make a lot of tackles. And I was like, you know, I started out that way. And then once I started catching interceptions, I was more like, hey, man, y'all can have all the time. Y'all can have all the tackles, man. I'm trying to catch the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I know you like big hits, right?
Yeah.
But do you like tackling? Or is it more like, hey, I want interceptions, and then I'm still going to let y'all know I'm a big hitter. Don't come around here playing, but I ain't trying to make 8-10 tackles a game.
I mean, I think for me, it's a healthy mix. You feel me? Because to get myself going, I'm definitely like, oh, I'm about to go tackle some stuff. Like, I'm finna go tackle some stuff and get myself going because that gets me in the game. If I get a tackle the first series and it's a good tackle, oh, I'm wired up for the rest of the game. So, yeah, you probably did messed up. But, like, I tell my coaches all the time, they're like, bro, you got to take these blocks on. I'm like, hey, bro, these hands catching picks, bro. These hands ain't for taking on blocks and doing all that. Like, you let Jamal do all that, and I'm going to stay in this back end. I'm going to catch picks. You feel me? And that's what I tell him. Like, I tell him all the time, Coach, these hands are for catching picks, bro. I ain't going to be down there playing off D linemen and doing all that. Like, I'm past that. Like, I did that at nickel. Nah, I'm good.
Yes, man. And I got a question for you because when I was in Detroit, you know, I was at the practice and I met Deshaun Elliott, and he came to me and he was like, man, you know Q, right? Quandre. I was like, yeah, I played with Quandre. He's like, yeah, man, that's my people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him as a player. You know what I'm saying? What do you know about him, and what can the Lions expect from him from either a turnover standpoint, physical standpoint? Like, what do you know about him and what he can bring to the Lions defense from a safety perspective?
I'll say this. One thing about Deshaun is he loves to play ball. You feel me? Like, he loves football, and he going to give you everything he got. And I know for him, everybody see him, you know, hitting Derrick Henry and making these big hits. But, like, he's a ball hog. Like, he's a ball hog. Like, in college, he was getting the ball. And I know from conversation that me and him had is, like, he's just trying to figure out, like, yo, like, how do I go get the ball in the league? And I tell him, like, you know, they come in bunches. Once you get one, they start coming. They start coming. You feel me? It's just you be in the right spot, boom, the ball's in your hand. You know, and don't force it. That's what I tell him. Like, don't force it. Like, the ball gonna come to you. And I think for him and Tracy, they're a perfect mix for each other because they both very versatile and they both can do a lot of things and they play well off of each other. They both hitters. They both like to hit. They both like to put their face in the fan. But I know Deshaun, he can get the ball also, and you know he's a smart guy too. So I'm excited to see him work. You know, when he signed there, I told him like, you're gonna love Detroit, bro. Like, you're gonna love Detroit, and if you one of those guys that you know go get the ball and you make big hits, the fans will love you, and you know you'll make a name for yourself.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, that is very good to hear. Very exciting because we've been talking about how little the Lions starters have played throughout the preseason, and not that it's a bad thing, but we just wanted to see that chemistry develop a little bit. So very reaffirming. And now onto the Seahawks. I do want to know, because you've got a very young secondary. I know you've got you and Jamal in this at safety. You've got Justin Coleman, who was just brought back at the slot. But then at the outside corners, you've got Sidney Jones, you got Artie Burns, and then you've got the two rookies, Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen. So kind of whatever you expecting out of that group, the mix of the veterans at the back and on the outside, a lot of youth.
I mean, I wouldn't say Sidney and Artie are youth.
True.
These guys are going on year 5, year 6. So those guys are veterans in their own right. So those guys know how to play football. They played in big football games, and maybe those guys, they don't have the big names and things like that. But Sidney played good football for us last year, and Artie's been kind of banged up during camp, but when he's out there, he's playing good football. He's going against two of the better receivers in the league. So, it's not like those guys are young, but for sure, Tariq and Kobe, those guys are gonna make a bigger impact than they probably know. Those guys are gonna be out there. Tariq is a freak. He's one of those guys. He's 6'4", he's running 4.2, and he's out there running stride for stride with DK Metcalf and freaking Marquise Goodwin every day. So, test him at your own risk. You feel me? Because that dude, he's long, like paws, but like he's freaking, bro, he's different. Like I've never seen a 6'4" corner, that could just run stride for stride, and he can be beat, and he just put one arm up and just knock the ball down. Like it's really crazy. And he's not one of those guys that's stiff. He's a 6'4" guy. He's fluid. So we're excited about it. I see a lot of myself in Kobe. I see a lot of myself in, the feistiness, the chip on his shoulder, the way he carries himself, where it's like, GQ know how I was as a rookie. It was like, all right, like I'm a rook, but like it ain't gonna be no disrespect. You feel me? Like you're not gonna disrespect me and think you above me because like I play ball just like how you play ball. And that's kind of how he is, and I think for him, he's going to play more in that nickel spot than he probably thinks. And I think that's his natural spot in this league is nickel because I think he can play really, really well in there. Not saying he can't play outside, but, playing in the slot is so valuable. And I think as a young guy, you come out, you win the Thorpe as an outside corner and, you make these plays, but you don't realize how valuable you are in that slot. And he has some really, really good ball skills too. And, these guys always say like his ball skills are like top of the line, some of the best, but like, what I mean? Like they see great ball skills with me every day. So I tell him,
wow.
Your hands are the second best hands in the room, but he really does have some good hands, like legit.
Oh man.
And when I tell him GQ, I gotta let him know, bro. And it's crazy because I used to go around. I tell Calvin like, "Hey, Calvin, these hands second to none, bro. Like they second to none," and I believe that.
You should. You got ball skills. I ain't gonna deny that. You got some ball skills. But man, it was good, man, for you to. I appreciate you jumping on, man. I know you had a long day, well, half a day, but getting home. Appreciate you hopping on with us, man, giving us a little bit of time, man. We look forward to week 4 with you back in Detroit.
Yeah.
I had to check my schedule, man. I might have to come out to that game.
How many picks you ended up with?
Career?
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, I'm going for 6 this year, so I can go get to high 25.
Go for it.
So I got a chance to pass my brother and you this year, so that's what I'm going for.
The thing is, we in the clubhouse already, though.
What clubhouse?
See, you got that Tiger Woods hat on, right? That Tiger Woods hat on, right? So when you play golf, right, I might go out and start at 8 o'clock, and you might go out at like 12 o'clock, right? Yeah. So I done finished up my round, and I'm in the clubhouse at 2 under, right? You might be at 4 under right now, but you still got 10 holes to play. So you can easily end up at about 4 or 5 over, depending on how them 10 holes go. Yeah. But I'm already in the clubhouse at 2 under, right? So I'm already in the clubhouse at 24. Well, how many your brother had?
I think 21, 22.
So we in the clubhouse already.
Yeah.
You still got games to go, right? That means you could pass us. You might not.
Hey, as long as I stay
You
on
could.
as long as I stay on the track I've been on for 5 years, that's gonna happen.
How many you at now? 18?
19.
19?
Don't short me.
That's how many I had in Detroit, 19.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I got
you need
15 in 3 years in Seattle.
Yeah, 15. Because you went what? 5, 5, and 5?
I went, so I didn't went 3, 3, 3, 5, 5.
3, 3, 3, 5, 5. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You stay on the same track, you'll be up there. You know what I'm saying? You'll be up there.
I'm trying to get 6 or 7.
You're trying to get 6, 7. That's tough.
Yeah, you gotta get some tips overthrows. You gotta go make some plays.
You got to. And you know what I was thinking about, bro? You know what I was thinking about? In my career, the other day I was thinking about it. I only had one game where I had multiple interceptions.
Oh.
That was the first game I ever called interceptions. I called 3 picks in one game. That was the only time that I had multiple interceptions in a game. So that means that's 3. So that was what, 24 to 21. So that means 21 other games. 21 other games I had to pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to do, right? Because you see, most of the time, if you get 5, 6, 7 picks in the season, you're gonna have that one game where you might have caught 2, right? Or you might have 2 games where you caught 2, and then you come up on 3, a couple more, and then you end up with 6 or 7. But to get one game, I had multiple picks, man. I was like, that's tough.
That's what
I was breaking, man.
I'm the same way, but I had the one game where I had 2 picks, back-to-back series.
San Francisco.
No, the Rams. First year with the Rams. Back-to-back.
No, San Francisco.
I don't know. I always get a pick against San Francisco. But yeah, back-to-back against the Rams. I caught the touchdown, boom, took it to the crib, came back, tried to run a 7, picked that off. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on one. They on that time about go for the 3-peat. I'm like, I'm trying.
Got to.
But you got to think, it's hard to get them double picks in a game. Like, I done had a game where I didn't got a pick in the first quarter where I'm like, oh, I know I'm finna get another one, and it just don't come.
It don't happen. They hard to get, man, but you've been getting them, man. You on a great pace right now, man. So it's great to see, man. It's always good to see the young guys, man, that come in as 6th rounder. With like that's what I've been telling these guys. Like, you only have one first rounder on a year, right? So most of the guys that make up these teams are 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round guys that go on and have great careers because they have that chip on their shoulder. They can play.
Yeah.
And they just got to be put in the right system, and they don't ever lose that chip. They don't ever lose that chip when they finally make it and have some success. They still got that chip because I was a 6th rounder. You drafted these people before me. Like, you guys thought I was too small. You guys thought I couldn't do this. And you just never lose that chip. You know what I'm saying? Until you retire, and then you still don't lose that chip because it's still like, what I'm saying, get off me.
Oh yeah, you know that.
So I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad that you're happy, man. I'm glad that you're healthy. I know we've chatted over the off season. I've seen you come back. We've talked about all those good things, man. So I'm just glad you're feeling good, man, and hope you have a healthy season, man. And go catch 6, man. Go get 7, man. Go lead the league, man. Bump it.
Facts. Might as well do it.
Go do it, man.
Appreciate y'all for having me. Always appreciate you, OG. You know that. You my guy. So
no doubt,
that's life. That's for life.
No doubt, man. I'm happy for you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on, man. I know it was last minute. I gave you a little heads up, but just appreciate you taking some time, man, to jump on with us. And I'm sure the Lions fans will appreciate it too.
Yep.
Still love you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate them always.
And do you have any pluggables to plug before you get out of here? Anything that the people can follow or support you?
Oh, nah, y'all know me. Follow me on Twitter and IG. That's where that's where all the entertainment comes from. Especially Twitter. I'm always pretty entertaining on there. So that's where I'm at. I will say though, this week though, my high school is dedicating a scoreboard to me, so that'll be pretty dope. So something I'm real excited about.
Who y'all playing?
Congratulations.
They play like Clear Lake or something. Yeah, they play Clear Lake. So I'm gonna go down there and then go go watch that.
Okay, Clear Lake, Angleton, Clear Lake, and Angleton. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be down there Friday.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to Albuquerque this weekend, man. We got Lobos opening up. My nephew played with the Lobos, so I'll be in Albuquerque this weekend.
Lobo week.
Settle down. Settle down. Settle down.
Hey,
Settle
all right,
down.
fellas. I'll catch y'all.
All right, man.
Yep.
Take care.
Yep.
What a delight that was.
It was good, man. Quandre is good people, man. Like I said, he's my guy, man. I remember he came in the league, and he was that young guy that just, like you said, he had that chip on his shoulder, but he also was respectful of the veterans. He wanted to work. Obviously, he had a brother in the league, so he grew up around it. So he understands, how it all works. And so he was a joy to work with. And like he said in the show, like I used to always tell him, like, hey, man, I see myself in you. Like I came in as a nickel. They always said I was probably going to be a better safety than I was a corner. And I feel like you're going to be the same way. You're playing a nickel right now. You're a physical guy. You're a smart guy. You got good ball skills. At some point, you're going to transition to safety, and you're going to be a great player. And he done just that. So happy for Quandre. That's my guy.
And I will say I'm surprised that you let him get away with saying that he had the best hands on the line, second to none in the secondary room. I thought you might push him on that.
Well, we always had that conversation. I didn't want to get it going because he knew what the deal was. I didn't have to argue that. We'll let the fans decide who they think had the best hands. I mean, you look at some of the plays I made, it's just incredible. You know what I'm saying? Some of the display of hands. If you go back to Quandre's first time, he was trying to get his first pick with the Detroit Lions. He playing against the Oakland Raiders. They throw him a pass and he dropped it. So I think I seen Quandre drop a couple of interceptions. I know I saw him drop at least one or two. I don't know if the Lions fans can recall or pull up a regular season game of Glover Quinn dropping an interception. I know I dropped one in the preseason. I didn't have my contacts at the time. I couldn't even see the ball. It literally dropped a flutter. And the next day I went and got contacts, and then we played Tom Brady in preseason game week 3, and I catch an interception. So, yeah.
Made up for it.
Yeah, so we know what these hands are. And like I said, I'm in the clubhouse at 24 career, and that's cool with me. I did 18 in Detroit. That's cool with me. I think I'm all-time leader in Detroit history for safety.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that. He can go and catch 25. He ain't play for Detroit no more. So you only had, 7 with Detroit, maybe? 5? 3 1 year, maybe, and maybe it had 6, right? 3 1 year, maybe 3 the next year. Something like that.
I think so.
I think he had 3 and 17 with me. And then he had 3 and 18 with Coach Patricia, I think. So he might have had 6 in Detroit. Something like that. Yeah.
Sounds like the debate has been settled. We'll let the fans decide, but Glover Quinn, best hands in the Lions secondary ever. And
Ever.
Not just ever in the past, ever in the future as well. Glover Quinn's in the clubhouse. You can't live up to Glover Quinn in the clubhouse. Glover, pleasure as always. You got any pluggables to plug here tonight?
No, man. I'm just excited, man. It's football season. It's go time, man. Whoever your favorite team is, root for them college-wise this weekend. NFL, get ready for your favorite teams in the NFL. If you're not a Lions fan, you just enjoy listening to our podcast. Whoever you're rooting for, good luck. Unless they're playing against the Lions, and we hope that everybody gets out safely, but the Lions get the win. And hopefully next week, we'll have another special guest come on next week. Maybe we'll see. So yeah, man, follow the podcast. Follow us on all the Instagrams and Facebooks and Twitters. Content's gonna start picking up. Season's coming out. We got a lot of stuff going on. I got some other things obviously that I'm working on my end. I like to do my own, photography and all those things. And so I'm working on some stuff with that. So I've been busy, man. Been busy. It's a lot. Nonetheless, it's fun and I enjoy it. So hopefully I'll be getting some stuff done that I can present to the world, man. A little art. So it's fun, something different. And so, yeah, man, just follow us on socials and let's get ready for a good football season.
Can't wait to see what you've got cooking up. Make sure you follow him at Glover Quinn. You can follow me at Javnaugh87. Give the podcast a like, rating, subscribe. Check out our sponsors over at betonline.ag. And until next week, we will see you next